Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, who was the distinguished chair of the House Judiciary Committee. Jim Jordan, you know, you outed Antony Blinken and what I call the Gang of 51, these phony intel guys that covered up for the Hunter Biden laptop so Joe Biden could lie his way through the debates, the second debate, rather, and then the rest of the campaign. So you did everybody a service. Now, I've said, political dirty tricks like that, what is this guy Blinken doing running the State Department, okay? It's just a political hackery.
Well, I mean, he hasn't done a very good job. I mean, look at the Afghanistan withdrawal. Look at what's happening in Sudan. We got Americans there, and on it goes. But to that specific issue, I mean, it started with Blinken reaching out to Mike Morrell. That prompted Morrell to put this whole thing together. And Mike Morrell told us in the deposition, Larry, he said, we did it because we wanted Biden to have something to use against Trump in the debate because we knew Trump would bring up the Biden laptop story. We wanted Biden to win. And of course, when it happens, Joe Biden brings the letter up during the debate as if it was organic. When it wasn't, it was put together with, the campaign even told Morrell, here are the reporters we want you to first give the letter to. And then when it's all done, after the debate on October 22nd, just 2 weeks before the election, when it's all over, the campaign chair, Steve Rossetti of the Biden campaign, calls up Mike Morrell and thanks him for the whole deal. That's how political this whole thing is.
I know, and I think you did everyone a service, by unveiling that, making that transparent. Because, Blinken's name hadn't been in there. And the whole connection that you mentioned, Blinken to Morrell, et cetera, with Rossetti and all the rest of it, this is just political dirty tricks. And those are the kinds of political hacks that normally don't get jobs at the top of the most important. For example, the State Department is in some sense the senior-most cabinet department in the government. The other thing, Jim Jordan, look, so you have now Merrick Garland slow-walking everything with respect to the Hunter Biden grand juries in Delaware. Now, this hasn't yet been totally proven, but you've got this IRS whistleblower. Now, this is more, James Comer's thing than yours, but nonetheless, you guys are working together on this. To me, this is also political skullduggery or political dirty tricks. What is an attorney general, which is a gigantic job in the government, the head of, American law enforcement, what is he doing participating in some kind of cover-up of the Hunter Biden story and all these LLCs that keep somehow cropping up?
Well, the short answer is I don't know. What I do know is they've had the laptop since December of 2019, so they've had the laptop for a while. They had it before the 2020 election, and yet let everyone think this is where it ties in with that correspondence from the 51 former intel officials. But I think in the big picture since, Larry, 170-plus suspicious activity reports, thousands of pages involved in those suspicious activity reports, dozens of LLCs, now up to a dozen Biden family members receiving money, according to Chairman Comer, and they get it from all kinds of foreign governments and foreign entities. That just doesn't fit right. That just doesn't smell right. There's something wrong there. And then you put all that package together and you ask sort of the fundamental question. What service were they providing to get the funds? What did they do? What value did they add? What was their job to get this money? And you can't find an answer to that fundamental question. So, and then you couple all that with what seems to be the slow process with the U.S. attorney. I don't know, but I'm convinced that Mr. Comer and the Oversight Committee are, in fact, going to get to the bottom of it.
Well, they probably will. He's a pretty impressive guy, Jim Comer. He's been on the show a couple times. I didn't really know him, but I agree with you. I think he's going to get to the bottom. But Jim Jordan, with all these this is about influence peddling, right? This is all about influence peddling. And this is going to reach into the Oval Office. I mean, is it credible to assume that all the money collected by these LLCs, not a dime got into Joe Biden? I find that hard to believe. I do. I just find that hard to believe. It's not proven. It's not proven, but I don't know. I got my own opinion.
Again, we don't know, but it sure looks funny. It's suspicious activity reports for they do that for a reason because there's suspicious banking activity happening there. So I think people are concerned and rightfully so.
Can I ask you another thing? Speaking of suspicious activity, so you all are putting together what I think is a very good package. The debt ceiling and relevant budget cuts and H.R. 1 and workfare and so forth. I've totally supported. I think it's great stuff. So you haven't even passed it on the floor of the House, okay? I reckon you will, but you haven't yet. Today, the Biden administration, OMB, put out a circular saying that the president would veto it if it became law. So let me get this right. He's not returning McCarthy's calls. There's no second date. There's no, Diet Coke or drive-in movie. And now he's putting out a veto message for something that actually doesn't even exist yet, although it will. I mean, what do you make about this?
No, it's the kid on the playground who says, I'm going to take my football and go home. I mean, think about it. Under Joe Biden, record spending, record inflation, record debt. And what does he say to the speaker? Oh, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to negotiate with you. Just give me more money so I can keep on spending. That's not how it works. And the American people understand that. This is the most ridiculous position I have ever seen. The package that we are putting together in the House is a good package, which says we're going to get some savings now. We're going to slow the growth of the rate of spending in the future. We're going to put in policies that will grow our economy like you did in the Trump administration. We're going to do all those things. And Joe Biden says, no, I'm going to take my football and go home. I want it my way. Just give me more money. Nobody understands that. Everyone sees that as like, this is crazy. But it's sort of consistent with this administration, because tell me one thing they've done right. I can't find one. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised at the position they're taking now.
I got to go, but 30 seconds. Tell me $1. Tell me $1.25 of a spending cut any place in the budget that Biden would sign on to. Show me $1.23. Okay, give me $1.10. I mean, really, nothing. Yeah. They will not cut. Nothing. They've spent $6 trillion. They wouldn't cut anything. I mean, I think that's what the word is chutzpah, however you say it. Yeah. I mean, that's really something.
No, it's ridiculous.
Nothing.
Again,
not a buck.
Record spending, record inflation, record debt, and what do they say? Give me more money.
Give me more.
That just isn't going to fly, and Americans have common sense, and they understand that's not going to fly, and that's why our package, I think, is going to pass this week.
All right, Chairman Jim Jordan, the best of the best. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.